first began teaching in 2014, I had a unique approach to how I offered the learning to the students. And I really went through a process of doing a lot of research to see what could I do to truly engage my students. At the end of that year, I was recognized and I was submitted to be a part of the demo teacher program the following year. And so in that following year, as I was a part of this program, I went through comprehensive professional development during that process. And I was first introduced to the concept of student choice and student voice. And it was a very interesting concept because it made so much sense, and it was a great way for students to express their learning in the best way that they can. And it really shows what they truly have learned in more of an authentic learning experience. So I looked at that and I thought, how can I implement this in my classroom? I've tried various methods where sometime I'll create different versions of one assignment, how students can express it in different ways and giving them options. I've also tried leaving it a little bit open-ended to allow students to have, their choice and however they want to do it in whatever way. And I saw positives and negatives in different ways on how I implemented it. And so I tried it again and again, trying to find the correct method to do that. And because I adapted the gamification model that I've been preaching throughout this innovation plan, it was a way to kind of provide that choice in a gamified method. And it was good, but it was really about refining it and creating the right design that actually worked within the classroom. So with that COVA approach, it's been very important throughout my career in becoming more of a facilitator in my classroom, where where the classroom is essentially student-centered, and I'm just acting as a facilitator or a coach of learning, and we're kind of passing that learning around in the classroom. So I've gotten to a point where now my classroom looks like different things are happening at the same time. Students are choosing what they want to do, they're choosing how they want to present it, they're using their creativity and their passions to present their work. And we finally gotten to the point where we're able to implement that in the classroom in a very effective way. As I've kind of gone through this process within this program, my initial reaction was beautiful. I love it. It allows me a chance to really show what I know in my way. Just as much as I just talked about it about the students, it's the same for me. And so I like to use a lot of creative methods in expressing what I know. And so when the class allows for me to do that, I feel empowered to learn more, to do more research, to perfect what I'm doing and how I'm presenting this to others, and to do it in my way. And it really gives a sense of empowerment to what I know and the knowledge that I have obtained. So I've adjusted well to this style just because I've learned about it a while ago and I've been trying to figure it out. One great thing about this program was that this program really taught us the in-depth principles on how this is implemented and how it's shown, and the class practiced what it preached, and that was the great thing about it. Not only did it talk about doing this and it talked about these different learning methods, it also put it into practice and allowed us to express ourselves. And I just thought it was just beautiful. I really enjoyed working and completing projects for this class because I felt like I got to really learn and get my hands dirty and have this hands-on experience in this learning process, because I got to do it, and then I can kind of figure out, okay, that's how it works, and then use it in my classroom. And so because I've already been kind of implementing this in my classroom, it just really had me round out what I was doing and find more purpose, more understanding behind how it can be effective in the class. It wasn't very difficult to take control of my own voice because, again, I've been doing that for a while. The class that I'm currently teaching now is Design and Innovation. Ironically, it's pretty much the same as this program, and I found a lot of similarities in the approach, especially from Dr. Harapnik, and I relate to so much of what we're doing because I've implemented that same concept in my classroom. So it's not difficult at all because I'm constantly doing that process. into my classes already. But it did help me like really round out what I was doing and make sense of it, to see it done at this level, and it was really easy to translate in the current levels that I teach. So my innovation plan is truly authentic. It's something that I've been building for years. I've been trying it. We went through the action research process. What was difficult for me to do during that class was that I've been doing the action research. So it was a matter of pulling what I had together. It was also a matter of trying to implement new things during that time span as well. But really, I've accumulated so much over about 5 years of trying to implement this innovation plan. This class really helped me round out and identify exactly what it is that I'm trying to do. Before, it was a lot of different things: gamification, design thinking, entrepreneurship mindset, a growth mindset, a lot of words, a lot of buzzwords, right? But it was really trying to figure out, what am I trying to innovate? What practice am I trying to innovate? And it really was like innovating student-centered learning and using UDL approaches to really like house in on that learning method. And so what I've really done was create a model that houses universal design, that houses student-centered learning. Instead of telling, what it is and why it's important, it's a how-to. It's kind of like a how-to guide or a template to use that implements all of those things. And so that's what I've learned throughout this program, that I created a template, or I am creating a template on how to use UDL practices and how to do student-centered learning. So I really got a chance to identify what it is that I was actually doing. Instead of a lot of buzzwords here and there, I'm really doing UDL. I'm really doing student-centered learning, and it's just a template for how to do it, using a bunch of 21st century learning methods and a bunch of new educational trends, using educational technology and those different assets to kind of really engage the learner and help motivate them to be a part of the learning journey, a part of their learning journey, a part of the instructional process, and for them to have an authentic experience in the classroom. So again, the COVA approach, the CSLE approach as well, aligns directly within my learning philosophy. I'm really big on the design, the instructional design, and the learning environment that's created throughout that process. If you come into my classroom, you're gonna see a crazy learning environment as far as, I have lighting going on, I have a bunch of different graphics that pop up around the walls and graphics that I use to kind of design my lessons as well. And then our models and our methods, we use a lot of collaboration. Again, we're using student choice, so students can choose what they want to work on when they want to work on it. Students are developing skills in the process of them going through it as well. And we're really kind of connecting to those authentic experiences that the students will work through, in their futures, throughout the future job force, or in class, or as they get to the next level. I teach middle school, so as students go through high school and then college and then the future workforce, there's skills that students can develop throughout the class that I've been teaching that they can use as they go throughout life. My perspective on learning and my learning philosophy really hasn't changed at all. What it's done was it's been refined. It's really been trimmed down, and it's been focused in on the points that truly matter, and what exactly am I trying to convey in the process of what I want to do. And so again, it hasn't changed, it's been refined. So in my innovation plan, I use the COVA approach to apply a student-centered learning model. And in this model, students are able to choose exactly what they want to do at what time, to choose what skills they want to develop, although I do lead them on certain prerequisite skills in order to jump into certain courses. So I have it separated in quests, is what I like to call the lead parts, but they're like units. And then within those, there are certain lessons or mini courses as I brand them, and students are able to choose what they want to do. So when people walk in my classroom, it's a lot of different things going on, and I can have let's say if I have a classroom of 15, 20 students, every single one of those students could in fact be working on something different because they chose to do that, okay? And so they really take ownership of their work, and I teach them small skills for them to learn in order to take that ownership, to make it theirs. I might have certain guidelines and certain directions for them to go, but I really want them to make it theirs, and I want them to express it in the best way that they can express it. In the process, I do teach them how to express yourself. How do you create presentations, and what's the best methods in doing that? So I try to give them direction, but it's really about how they want to express it. And so that's how they use their voice, and that's how that ownership and choice comes into play. And again, it's authentic learning experiences. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I'm connecting them to outside sources of my class. They're also working on certain small projects for different teachers. One teacher might say, hey, I need a website for a program that's happening at school. I need a website so that students can go and look at some information. So I taught students already, how they might make a website, how they might make logos, and how to start a business. I taught them a lot of small different skills. And so now they're able to take on a project or a client, which is another teacher, and say, hey, I can build that website for you. They can go and interview with him. They can go and connect that information and go through the design thinking process and actually develop something for them. So that COVA approach is huge in what we've done in our class. Some of the biggest challenges that I have faced with this approach and with creating those significant learning environments is that it's different. I have students that come in the classroom, and it's difficult for them to have that responsibility laid on them. It's difficult for them to actually choose because they're used to a teacher-centered classroom. I tell my students all the time, listen, this is not about me. It's not about you coming in the classroom and I'm the center of attention. I don't need the attention. I want you to have the attention. I want you to network with each other, and I want to learn from you just as much as you come to learn from me. And so students, it takes them a while to get it. It takes them a while to figure out how it's set up and why can I do my own thing? It's weird for them. It's not normal for them to walk in the classroom and figure out what they want to do and how they want to do it. And that was actually a long process figuring out the right method for that, because when I first tried it before, it was too open. Students couldn't make that connection. And I have a lot of students not able to submit their work because it was too open for them. So I had to figure out ways to lead them to the directions they needed to go, all right, to kind of give them more direction and not just leaving it wide open for them until they were ready to be able to internalize the learning and really express it. So as they went through the process, I centered it for them. I never made them all do the same thing. I never made it teacher-centered, but I always tried to keep it for them to learn in their own way, to learn at their own pace, and to choose what they want to do. They were always able to do that, but I've gotten better at developing the program and the design of the program to give them different resources that they can connect to when they don't understand something, give them the lines, I like to call the lines of defense when you're confused about something, when you want to use creative thinking, when you want to collaborate and network with your peers to see what they're doing, and then when you want to go straight to the teacher. So there's a method that I've been developing throughout the classroom. Again, it's gamification, so we give points for certain things. So students are looking to collaborate because, whether it's, hey, I need to collaborate because I'm not sure what I need to do and I need to, get my work turned in, or it's collaboration because, hey, if I work with others, I'm going to get points in this area, and these points lead to great things that happen within the classroom. So the whole system really works together well.